Well, it's week 5 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware. Not a post-game interview this time. I am joined by Apollo, who has found his way to yet another team after all this time. How are you, Apollo?
I'm doing good. And yeah, it actually has been a while since we had one of these conversations, but I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So, all right. This is the first time ever where you've been on Golden Guardians, and I've gotten to interview you as a coach. So there's a lot of exciting things happening here. We make all the jokes in all our past interviews about the rotation. You go someplace and then you don't get too comfortable. So actually, let's just go this. How was off season for you? How did you end up in this situation? What have the past 6 months been like for you?
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is where I thought I would end up. Not like Golden Guardian specifically, but just as a coach, I didn't think that this was where I was going to be. Um, After Immortals, they decided that they wanted to go with different people, and the whole importing thing happened, especially with a lot of those players. So they kind of just came in and swooped in, took a lot of our jobs, to be blunt. But I think it's well deserving. I think a lot of them are performing well, so I'm not salty or anything. But yeah, and then I went on to join an amateur team, Solo Fide. Uh, there was a lot of things that happened, and I'm not going to go into too much details, but it didn't work out very well. And then after that was around maybe
It
end
was
of March.
March. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, around March, and then I was kind of I was a little bit lost. I didn't really have. Well, I wasn't really prepared for that situation, that's for sure. And a lot of the teams weren't looking for players. Well, not really any of the teams were looking for players, especially specifically my role. And I didn't really feel like moving forward. I just didn't really think my career was going to get was how do I put it?
There
It
weren't a
was
lot of
just gonna
new opportunities, I assume, ahead for you as a player.
Yeah, it was just really difficult, like a lot of all the role or all the teams had 80 carries that were pretty much set in stone, and I don't think I would outperform any of them too hard enough for me to actually deserve a spot, I guess is the best way to put it. So naturally, I I explored other options, whether it was coaching or well, I say I explored streaming, but I know I wasn't going to do streaming. But I thought about what my options were, and I figured I knew I wanted to at least try coaching before I did anything else, I guess. Um, and and it's been working out really well. It's obviously like a new kind of adventure and a new hurdle that, or like a new start that it's going to be challenging, but I've been enjoying it a lot so far, and especially working with Golden Gardens and Anero, and we have kind of like a full like I think we have three other coaches, the three other LCS assistant coaches slash role coaches, and yeah, it's been just kind of soaking in as much as I can, at least for just kind of being like a novice at coaching right now.
So is your plan, I guess, to try this out this split and then see how it goes, or do you think that this is going to be something that you're going to do for a long time going forward?
Well, my plan, the way, and I don't want to speak in definites because eh, things can always change, but I didn't plan on returning as a pro player. When I took this job as a coach, I didn't think I was gonna just do this for a little bit and then come back as a pro. I didn't really feel that way. And I think I think it's fair to the players to feel that, or fair to the coaching staff and the players to feel that way, just because I just have to give it my 100%. If I feel like I was, or um, if other players or the management or whoever felt like I was trying to get back on a team at the same time I was coaching, I don't know, I wouldn't really feel right about that. So
Yeah.
I'm right now I'm not really looking into becoming a player. I just wanted to kind of dive into this coaching role and see how well I can do.
Have you retired as a player? I guess is that what's happened? Have
Yeah,
you
that's the
retired?
thing is I don't want to say that because then it's if I come back, it's just gonna be weird. But for now, I would say I'm retired.
Okay, gotcha. You might have to
Yeah,
unretire. If I guess is the thing that happens
yeah.
sometimes, right? Like,
That happens sometimes, but I guess it's when
yeah.
that happens, it's always just I don't.
Hey,
I guess the only the examples I could say is high,
well, it's not
right?
just. I
That
mean, for instance, Delta laid off a bunch of people at the beginning of the pandemic, gave them retirement money and all that stuff. Now they're calling
true.
them all back because their wait lines or their wait call times are like 10 hours long. Okay, so all you
Yeah, that's
need
true.
is some sort of crazy thing to happen where they really need an ADC, and then you're there, you're
Yeah,
ready. So,
yeah.
but that's
But
those people are unretiring to come back and work for a little bit.
so
Unretirement happens.
unless something extreme happens, I personally didn't have a plan on coming back,
Yeah.
at least playing professionally.
So okay, let me ask you because I know we've joked around in the past, but like, what do you feel about your career? Because like, a lot of people their frustrations are like, oh, I never made it far at Worlds or whatever. But you were always kind of you had some splits where I think people gave you a ton of credit and said like, oh, he's performing up near the top of the pack. But it's not
Mhm.
like you were going to Worlds every year. It's not like you were had the status I think that some of the other ADCs that have retired recently had. So
Yeah.
I don't know what do you think personally about your career looking back on it. I don't know if you're satisfied, you're disappointed, you're excited.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a difficult subject, Like, uh, it's nice knowing that I stayed in for so long, and like in that sense, it was successful.
Yeah,
But there's it should have been, or I feel like there were splits where I should have been at least going to Worlds, or like maybe if I was a little bit like I don't want to say like lucky, but if the stars aligned a little bit more, maybe I could have gone to Worlds one of the years, right? But yeah, it never really happened. So I mean, I I wasn't ever satisfied, or like I don't think I'm satisfied with my career, but like knowing, or like I guess what made it more satisfying is when I was talking with like people and talking with my brother and stuff. I think them saying like how long I was here for, it felt good.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but well, you were there since the beginning of LCS, right? 2013. You were on Coast.
Um, yeah, yeah. I think it was either was that. I guess that must have been the very beginning. No, it was like 1 year after the very beginning.
2014. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because
yeah.
I think the very beginning was um,
GGU.
like XDG, and oh shoot, I forgot all the teams back then.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it was 1 year after basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, 2014 to 2020 is not six years. I feel like for the LCS, that's almost the entire thing, and very few people could have said that they've played for that long. So I totally get you on that. What do you think? What what do you think that experience gives you now that you can help out with the GG stuff? Because obviously, Golden Guardians a team that struggled a lot this
hmm
year. Having a summer surge, but the format is somewhat brutal for something like that, right? Just because of
hmm
the deficit. So I don't know. If, given all that experience, how are you applying it at Golden Guardians, especially to help out with this team that's like in such a tough state?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I know exactly how to teach players like this, but I've definitely been here before, and probably even in worse cases, really. And I think, I guess, uh, I guess I just hope that I'm not going to bring the team down in any way. Like, if anything, I just make sure that they're looking forward. Like they just constantly keep looking forward, and hopefully not thinking too much about the results, but just trying to improve, and then showcasing your ability, or showcasing your ability as a player or just as a team. And I think that was probably the most important thing, is when you are in a losing team, you have to still like try and just make sure that it doesn't look like you're giving up. And I think there's plenty of teams in the past where when that happens, it looks really bad for not only the players, the coaches, like just the org as in general. If it looks like the team is just giving up, then it's just not good for you. And hopefully that, and I don't think that's happening on GG. I'm just saying that that can happen, and I think you can even see it right now. We kind of are, I guess, it sucks to look at our record because it's, I mean, it just it
You're
looked,
improving. The team is
yeah,
doing
teams,
considerably better in summer than they did
yeah,
in spring, right? Like I think you've already
yeah,
taken more games than you did in the entirety of spring, despite the season only being halfway done or whatever. So
yeah. It's a, yeah. Obviously, it's a huge. It's nice to see that, and I hope the players kind of use that and kind of keep pushing themselves to get more wins, basically.
yeah. Well, uh, I know it's interesting because I know that you have like actually there's like a small but strong group of fans for you,
Mm.
especially in your time in the LCS. I like to think they were all born out of our interviews, but
I'm sure some of them
so
were.
some of them were at the very least. So I don't know what do you have to say to those folks who I think have always supported you and really enjoyed your play and your personality and all the content that you've done.
um, well, I'm sure I could have done more content. So I guess if anything, you know, I I'm I'm grateful that like they managed to stick around, and yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I'll be more behind the scenes, and I kind of prefer that anyways. But I guess for those that are still my fans and stick around, just cheer for whatever team I'm on, and yeah,
Very good. Well, hey, thank you so much, Apollo.
yeah,
It's I'm sad that the pandemic is the way that it is, and like that I'm not doing this with you at the studio since it is kind of like an abridged retirement interview.
I know, right?
But I've interviewed you throughout all these years, so I guess I'm happy that you're not just like fading away, that you're still gonna be here. Because when obviously whenever I saw the Solidified stuff and even before then, I was like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. So whenever I heard the news about the Golden Guardian stuff, I was very happy.
Yeah,
But yeah, thank you so much for the interview. Hopefully you and I get to see each other soon in person. And for everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, isn't it crazy that we're already in November? No, I know right now what you're thinking is, wow, Travis used a really old outro for this one. I'm just making a bit of a joke because guess what? Alienware right now has their Black Friday in July deals going on over at alienware.com/Travis. Click through there, head on over to the Alienware site. If you click that link, it's helpful to me. And then take a look because they've got limited time deals. You can like refresh and keep an eye out for maybe you're in the market for a notebook or something. But the holidays are upon us in July. And of course, I'm talking about Black Friday in July, which is Alienware's thing. Anyway, thanks so much to Alienware for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching it.